Data, we are basically getting it from Ondal. Second, we are trying to plot the chart using the class and the chart app or API. Third is we are now going out and understanding indicator, trying to plot the indicator to understand logic that we can assess or understand or make. Fourth, we go for candle patterns. Okay, again we plot them and make a logic which might work. Fifth idea is basically to combine third and fourth indicator plus candle pattern and make your strategy. Today is what we try to understand them, plot them, and I will also show you how to make a simple strategies using them or combining them. Where you have your strategy, you can then do back testing and get a trade report. So the agenda here is 3 and 4, and for 3 and 4 you have something called as Talib. Right. So now this is another library that you can use, and the agenda is this has all the functions predefined. So we do not have to write each of them. It's already predefined within this library where you can just access indicator, you can access the candle pattern. So the list of candle patterns and indicators are already there. All you need to do is take the data and pass it to that indicator, right? So once you pass it in using this library, you pass it to that function, you get the indicator. You need to only use the chart API or chart app to plot this as an output, right? So the agenda here is, it is very easy because this library, Talib, which is there, it basically has inbuilt functions for each of them. So it's not that we need to construct each of them or write your own logic. But apart from that, you can also create your own indicator. So once you understand what indicators are, and let's say you want to now make your own indicator, that can also be done. Okay, but more or less, industry, they normally use this straight away tool where the functions are already defined and you can make use of them. So I'll just show you how it looks like, and then we'll go inside each of them just to understand what each indicator means like, or what each candle patterns look like. So till now, almost we are done with 1 and 2, and then we are trying to approach towards 3 and 4. Once we do 3 and 4, the agenda is then to make a simple strategy and make a tool where we can do something called as backtesting or a backtester, right? So this would be the last step, and then after that, the agenda is to go from simulation. Simulation can only be done if you connect it to the live environment, and going forward, you go down in the live market. So the agenda here is this format of steps of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will basically help you devise your logic for the strategy engine, right? So that is the first and the foremost output that you need. Then we move down to options, right? So we understand what is options and we make strategy in option the similar way, because here we have used, what are we using to make our strategy or logic? Talib, or you can say indicator and candle patterns, they are called as technical strategies. As I said, there are different formats of strategy. So one is technical strategy, and then you move down to option strategy. Once we have some sample strategies ready, the third or the last part is to basically make your complete algo where you put your strategy engine, the logic over there, and you connect it to the RESTful API. So by doing this, you can basically go where? In the live format, right? So the agenda here is first to make you understand technical, then the options, then make strategies over here, strategies and options, combine both of them, place it on RESTful API, and go it in the live environment. So we need to take step by step, because I cannot just straight away go here and then you will understand. You will not understand why we are using option or why we are using technical or which strategies we are trying to place, right? So this is what we did yesterday, and now let's start with going out for the indicator and the candle patterns after understanding the data and the chart. So we'll just go through it in brief and then start with this indicator and candle pattern. So before we start indicator and candle pattern, I'll give you a brief overview of what they are, how it looks like, and then we start showing it in the code itself. Again, we can let's start the simulation. So I can show you those as well on the chart, and then we also start with our pie chart. So let this get done. So we basically start with pie chart, and the agenda was what we did yesterday. We can just go through that first, and then we start with our indicators and candle patterns. So yesterday we also downloaded the data. So there are places where you can download the data, but agenda was the data which you were trying to download, it would give it in CSV, and the data was in OHLC format. Right, so when we saw this, you can basically go out and you can go for historical data. In this historical also we had different time frames. So the daily, you have start date and the end date, which can be mentioned. If the end date is not there, it takes the recent one. You can download the data, and once you download the data, you need to sign in, but once you download it, you get it in CSV format. So as I said, you need to keep downloading the data every day as the new data gets uploaded, and then you basically use it in your algo system. But here, if you are using Condel, he provides you the same format of data and it updates it on daily basis. When we do week, it basically shows 4 week of September, 4 week of August, and so on. If you go for months, it is basically showing you for every month, right? So the agenda here is different time frame can basically give you different formats of data, but agenda here is even if you go for daily, weekly, or monthly, the agenda is it will give you price or close and open, high, and low. So the agenda is of OHLC remains the same, right? So nothing changes from that angle. So normally it is the same. Now when we go out and we try to also understand how the charts will look like. So the candle chart we basically showed you yesterday. I'll just open a chart so that we can keep plotting now over here. These are free sites which you can use. So this is tradingview.com, this is investing.com. Both can be used freely. And here if I see, this is what we are seeing, a chart of Nifty, but here chart is of month. Okay, and the chart which is shown over here is the candle chart. So let's say here you can change it to line chart. So these are different formats of chart which are there. So let's say if I do line chart, so you can basically see straight away the chart is basically shown in form of line, right? And you can basically change it to candles, where you would basically see each of them in form of candles. So candles, as I said, there are some green candle, red candles, so we'll try to understand what they are, okay, everywhere if you see. And then you have some candles which are big, some candles which are small, and what does they signify, right? So we'll try to understand that as well. And the second section which we just introduced was basically called as indicators. If you see over here, there are different forms of indicators, right? More or less there are 400 indicators which are there, right? So it goes beyond the scope of the syllabus to explain all, but we'll try to take each one which are important and which are normally being used or extensively being used. You can basically use each of them. So indicators is what you can basically select. So let's say if I'm selecting SMA, one kind of indicator, you select it over here. Just see, it basically plots a line over here on the candle pattern. right? So I can change this to week. Again, the line is still there, okay? And if I change it to day, still the line is there, right? So the agenda here is, it is a form of indicator, and we'll try to understand what it is. But agenda is whatever indicator you will plot, you can see it on the chart, right? And based on that, you can decide whether you want to buy or sell. So we'll come to the logic part. So let's first go down just to understand our previous lessons. So